Everybody is a genius, but if you judge a fish by its ability to climb a tree, it will live its whole life believing that it is stupid. Have you ever heard that quote from Albert Einstein? Now imagine being the leader and telling a fish to climb a tree. Imagine loving a bird, expecting it to swim to where you are. Or think about planting a seed on concrete and then wondering why it never blooms. That sounds ridiculous, right? Yet every day, we as human beings spend years trying to succeed in environments that do not match how we're naturally designed to operate. And then we let others label it as a failure or say it's laziness. We call it lack of discipline or motivation sometimes. Listen, the message is simple. A fish is designed to swim. A bird is designed to fly. That seed is designed to grow and bloom. Yet somehow human beings are the only species that spend years trying to become something other than what they were designed to be. And then we wonder where our social problems come from. A ladybug doesn't try to be a bumblebee, even though they are both insects. You are not designed to be like any other human being either. Now, I wish I could hold your hand while I ask you this. But what if the problem is not you? What if you're lacking nothing? What if the problem is misalignment? What if your success isn't primarily about the effort you put in? What if your success is about your design, that divine operating system that you have, and then the environment that you are in? And what if your purpose isn't something you find? It's just something you have to remember. The work is in remembering who you are. Welcome back to Human Design in Real Life. If you don't know me, I'm Erica Satori. I'm a social scientist and founder of Satori Synergy. On this channel, we explore human design in real life from my sociological lens. So if that's your type of thing, you're going to love it here. Feel free to subscribe and share. Now, I don't talk about human design just in theory, because I know that people make better decisions when they understand themselves better. I help you to take your design off of that paper and put it to work for you in real life. I use it as a tool and a practical framework to help you understand yourself, your purpose, your relationships, and your leadership style. Astrology helps us to understand life's timing and its cycles. Human design, that helps us understand our mechanics and our operating system. In sociology, I use that to help you understand the various systems and habitats that we operate within. Today, we're answering one of the most common questions I receive. What is human design? But I don't think that's really what your question is. But sure, I'll discuss what human design is, but what I'm also going to do is answer another question. How do I align with my purpose? Because that's what I think that people are really meaning to ask me. The number one thing I hear is, Erica, I don't know what my purpose is. I think we've been taught to think about purpose in the wrong way, though. We imagine purpose as a destination, something that's hidden, something we're supposed to discover one day, as if it's some treasure map and some magical moment where everything suddenly makes sense. Now, I do believe that there are many aha moments that happen throughout your journey. From my perspective, purpose isn't found. Purpose is followed. And it emerges and unfolds through aligned decisions time after time. Think about it. Most of the major moments in your life came from a decision, right? A relationship, a move you made, a career change, an opportunity. Sometimes it could just be a conversation. Purpose doesn't arrive all at once. You see how it unfolds through the choices that you make. Now, for me, that raises another important question, though. How do you know which choices are actually correct for you? Now, this is where human design enters the chat. Now, at its core, human design is a self-awareness system that explains your specific energy blueprint. It combines elements from several ancient wisdom traditions and modern sciences like astrology, the I Ching, the chakra system, astronomy, genetics, sacred geometry, even quantum physics. Listen, it's complex, but I get it because I am designed to take complex things that I am interested in, like human beings and their behavior, and distill it down so I could translate the information into a manner that is accessible for those who can hear me. Human design helped me to identify who can hear me in my natural and authentic expressions. And those are the people I aim to speak to. We can discover who can hear you too in our private one-on-ones. That's too easy. Now, whether you view it as a symbolic language, archetypal psychology, or personal or professional development tool, that's completely up to you. Knock yourself out. I don't get involved in those conversations about how you label it. What I care about is the practical purpose and the undeniable gap that it fills to move you forward towards relief. The functional question is, does it help you to understand yourself better? Now, that answer is yes. Human design helps answer questions like, how am I designed to make decisions? How do I naturally contribute as a leader? What environments support me best? What relationships support me? What type of work energizes me? Why do some connections feel effortless while others feel exhausting? So, human design is not trying to tell you who to become. It's simply helping you to understand who you've always been. One of the most important concepts in human design is something called inner authority. And honestly, from what I've seen observing my clients, this is where the most immediate magic happens. Now, your authority isn't about becoming someone else or giving your authority or agency over to someone else. It's about learning how your body already communicates your truth. Now, hear me out. Before someone told you who they think you should be, before society put those expectations on you, before your loved ones and your mentors told you what they thought success looks like, your body already had built-in navigation system. You have your own GPS, your inner authority. And you also have your own Wi-Fi signal that is pre-programmed with your winning communication and interaction strategy. But right now, I'm focusing on your inner GPS, your inner authority. Now, human design suggests that each person has a unique way of getting a clear message out about what's true for them, a unique way of making decisions, a unique way of knowing things. And when we consistently override our internal system, our GPS system that knows already, we often end up disconnected from ourselves and trying to walk in other people's shoes or live their lives, pursue their goals, communicate like they do, following someone else's definition of success. Now, mind you, the whole time you're probably busy looking for yourself. Meanwhile, you are in your inner authority. Human design gives you permission to trust your own mechanics and dynamics, your own body, mind, and soul. Think for yourself, make decisions as yourself, to live as yourself. And at the end of the day, alignment isn't just about doing what you're good at. Alignment is making decisions the way that you are designed to make decisions. That is where your flow state is. That's how you get into your zone of genius. Now, as a social scientist, this is where things get interesting, at least for me. Because most institutions are designed around standard operating procedures and creating a homogenized environment, and rightfully so. Education, workplaces, organizations, even families, we're often handed one single definition of success, one path, one measurement, one expectation. Everyone climbed the tree. Everyone followed the same timeline. Everyone pursued the same milestones. Everyone lead in the same way. Everyone communicate in the same way. But we all don't work the same way. Everything is black and white. But real life is in living color. Take it from me as a former chief diversity officer and retired social worker. I assure you, people are not the same. No team, family, tribe. We call groups of human beings tribes in sociology. No squad is a monolith. Every individual is unique. Just as we all have our own fingerprint, we all have our own energetic blueprint. We don't learn the same. We don't decide the same. We don't contribute to the team in the same way. We don't thrive in the same environments even. And we definitely don't lead or love the same way. Human design offers a radically different premise. Maybe diversity isn't something we create and clock for demographic stats. Maybe diversity is something that we're born with. And maybe the focus shouldn't be on external factors such as height, weight, eye color, skin color, your accent, your age, whatever. What if the diverse factors we do need to identify and leverage are internal? What we understand as our character traits, our natural talents, our inherent skills, the things that make us divinely unique and elite. And alignment, that's the process of learning how to honor that. Human design is the science of differentiation. I combine that with the art of self-actualization. This is why so many highly capable people often feel lost or broken when they're not. They're just being measured by or measuring themselves against criteria that has little or nothing to do with their nature and their design. Have you ever looked at someone and thought, why does it seem so easy for them? You're admiring how they compete or their leadership. Maybe it's their entrepreneurship or how they are in relationships. Maybe you notice their creativity. And we assume they're gifted or special, maybe even lucky. But what usually is happening is you're actually witnessing alignment. Like you see every day in nature. When a bird flies, it looks effortless. Not because they had to go to flight school, but because it was designed to fly by nature. It's just being itself and doing the job that it was assigned to do. When you're operating in alignment, things begin to flow. Dr. Gay Hendricks calls it your zone of genius. In your zone, opportunities feel more natural. Relationships feel more reciprocal. Work feels more sustainable. Now, of course, you're going to still have challenges. You're going to still have growing pains. But you're no longer fighting with yourself, at least. You're working with your design instead of against it. Now, here's where many people stop too soon with the basics of human design. They'll say, okay, thanks. I see that I'm a 3/6 emotional manifesting generator. I got it. But understanding your design is only half of the equation. Because just like a fish still needs water, a bird still needs sky, a seed still needs soil. You can know exactly who you are, but you will still struggle if you're in the wrong environment for you to develop and thrive in. You could be working the wrong job, on the wrong team, in the wrong relationship, associated with the wrong community, what have you. This is why alignment isn't simply self-awareness. I teach that alignment equals self-awareness plus correct environment. The right person in the wrong environment usually looks unsuccessful or is taken for a joke. The right person in the right environment often appears extraordinary and is taken for a genius. Not because they change, because the conditions change, the environment change. The fish is in the water where it belongs. And don't get me started on how much time we have wasted looking to belong in the wrong environment. Imagine holding a sunflower seed. You don't have to teach it. It knows how to become a sunflower. There's no training necessary because the intelligence is already inside. Its height, its petals, its growth pattern. The potential already exists in the design. But put that seed on concrete, nothing happens. Not because that seed is broken or lazy, because the conditions were wrong and it's in the wrong environment. Now, hit that like button if you know people who are walking around believing that they're broken when they're simply planted in the wrong place. A peacock doesn't spend his life trying to become an eagle. It does not apologize for being colorful, and it doesn't allow others to shame it for taking up space when it spreads its wings. It doesn't try to run fast like a cheetah. It expresses exactly what it is. And because it expresses what it is, it attracts everything that is meant to attract. Your vibe attracts your tribe. Go ahead and hit that like button if you know someone wasting energy, trying to become someone else instead of fully expressing who they are. And think about that dolphin. This is a highly intelligent animal. It's sociable, adaptable. But if you put that dolphin in the middle of a desert, all of that intelligence becomes null and void because it's designed to function in water. People aren't struggling because they lack talent. They're struggling because they're like a brilliant dolphin trying to succeed in a desert environment. And no matter the amount of hustle you have, you cannot solve an environment problem. I've said it before. The cure for hustle culture is alignment. And hustling isn't necessary when you are aligned because the environment is correct. Human design doesn't tell you who to become. It helps you remember who you are. It helps you to understand how you're designed to thrive as your authentic self. Now, the bigger question isn't even, what is my purpose? The question that leads you to being in alignment with your purpose is, am I in the right environment and working on the right assignment? I want you to find your water. I want you to find your soil, find your sky. Trust your inner authority. Follow the decisions that align with who you are. It's already coded in the GPS in your DNA. You do that and watch how you begin to grow. Witness what grows out of you even. Because the genius isn't missing. You lack nothing. The genius is already in your genes. So, I've answered the question that brought you here. What is human design? But I want to leave you with something bigger. Because human design is not a panacea. It's just a tool. Now, I've used and administered various tools, many of which you probably come across in your mandatory professional development trainings over the years. But this is my favorite tool. I use this to help people understand themselves because it's comprehensive, it's holistic, it's practical, and it actually comes with a built-in individual strategic plan. Now, the talent manager in me wants to call it your very own PIP, PIP, that you initiate, Performance Improvement Plan. Now, if you know what that is, You've likely been caught in the crosshairs of human resources for corrective action plan at some point. Now, don't get me wrong. I know how to do the long division and assess human behavior and their habits. I got my first degree in sociology in the 1900s when we studied human beings behind those double mirrors. But now I have human design as a tool that saves me countless hours of observation time, having to watch you first, because it runs the objective numbers and data for me, using your birthday as a timestamp or the baseline of when you entered society in its cycles as it evolves. And then I layer my expertise as a social scientist on top of that. I know that people don't need another productivity hack. You don't need another personality label. You don't need another professional goal setting checklist or worksheet. What you need is simply orientation, directions, insights, and inspiration. Now, over my 2 decades of guiding, advising, counseling, teaching, and leading everyday people, emerging professionals, entrepreneurs, and executives, and I've done this in various environments. I've worked in military installations, higher education, corporate enterprises, volunteer organizations, medical institutions, etc. I've done this in a lot of places. And I know one thing for sure. Everybody needs to understand who they are before they can decide on what to do next. You have to learn how to lead yourself first and understand how you operate before you can consciously lead others to do their best work. And that's what I help people do. Most consultants analyze processes. Most coaches focus on your goals. Most assessments, they measure your behavior. All of those things are great and stand alone on their own. But what makes my approach different is that I combine all of that and also focus on the people operating within the systems. It doesn't matter if the social dynamic we're talking about is your career, your leadership, your relationships, your business, your parenting style, or even your purpose. Everything changes when you understand who you are, what you're designed to do, when to engage, where you create the greatest value, why you do what you do, and how you're designed to contribute to society. That's why I use human design. That's why I use sociology and astropsychology. That's why I use leadership and behavioral frameworks and the Japanese Ikigai philosophy. I learned that when I lived and worked in Tokyo. I use all of my intelligence and instincts, not to put people in boxes, but to help you understand the energetic assignment that you were given when you arrived here on the school we call Earth, better known as your purpose. That calling that keeps calling until you answer that call. This type of comprehensive curriculum is key to unlocking your potential. Because when you understand yourself, you make better decisions. And when you make better decisions, you'll find yourself at better environments. And when design and environment align, success, satisfaction, peace, and delight become the signature outcomes just as a byproduct. Not because life becomes easier, but because you're no longer spending your life trying to be someone else. You're finally operating as yourself. So, if you've been wondering, what is my purpose? Maybe the better question is, who am I? Purpose tends to reveal itself when you stop chasing who you think you're supposed to be and start understanding who you already are. If you're ready to understand your own design, Learn about your decision-making process. Uncover your natural strengths and see where you're designed to create value in society. I'd love to guide you there. Check out the links in the description to go to satorisynergy.com. There you can learn more about me and my work and my services. Or you can start right now. Go there and run your human design chart at satorisynergy.com/chart. Right there on my website. Download your career design report right after your chart populates. You can schedule a foundational SOS, expert analysis with me, or you can go all in and enroll into my one-on-one masterclass, All About You, my strategic alignment school. Your genius is already sitting in your genes. Let's get you exercising in the right environments, in the right experiences, so that you can express yourself and show up as your best self. I'll see you in the next episode. Until then, go be great, superstar.